Hi, my name is Caroline Chang, and this is the introduction to episode 2 of my new series, Truth and Freedom. Can we please have a conversation? I have as my guests on this episode Dr. Andrew Kaufman and Dr. Judy Mikovits, who are both friends of mine. I am recording this intro separately so I can put on YouTube. Um, YouTube censors, we all know this. Anybody that knows truth knows that YouTube censors truth. So this introduction is for YouTube. The link to the entire show will be below. I first got active in the Truth and Freedom movement at the very beginning of March 2020 because I could see what was happening, what the globalists were doing, and that every word on the news was not true. I knew that instinctively. I was awakened to the globalists in 2012. The globalist elite. It's not conspiracy theory. This is conspiracy truth, conspiracy fact. I learned of Dr. Andrew Kaufman and Dr. Judy in spring of 2020. I learned of Dr. Kaufman's work from David Icke interview on London Real, April 6th of 2020. I learned about Dr. Judy Mikovits' work um, on May 4th, almost a month apart, on May 4th of 2020 with the release of Plandemic 1. So that's when I first heard of them and listened to their work and started following their work. I actually met Dr. Judy in person when I was speaking at an unmasked rally in California. Second time. I've only been to California twice in my life. And it was the second time I went to California to speak at the Unmasked rally. And also, Dr. Judy was also one of the speakers. And we met. She autographed my book. Oh, I'm going to grab it. She gave me this book, Plague of Corruption, and autographed it for me. Thank you, Dr. Judy. And then I also met Dr. Andy in person. I think before that, I think I met Dr. Andy in the fall of 2020. I met Dr. Judy in January of 2021. But I met in person Dr. Andy in person the fall of 2020 at a lecture he and Dr. Tom were giving upstate New York, which is not too far from me. And I drove to that lecture and met them both in person. So I consider Dr. Judy and Dr. Andy friends of mine. I have the utmost respect and the utmost love for both of them. And I was even a relative of mine said, how can you be friends with both? Because they don't agree. And I'm like, it's not about agreeing. You can have friends and loved ones and relatives you don't agree with. And you don't have to argue. You don't have to fight. You don't have to debate. Everyone is entitled to their own unique perspective. You can share and love and like. I have these conversations all the time with people that have different viewpoints than myself. I have conversations sharing my viewpoint, allowing them to share their viewpoint. The important thing is to listen to what other people are saying. You don't have to agree, but you want to listen so you can understand where that other person is coming from. And at the end of the day, it's not about agreeing. It's about having love and respect. That is how we get to world peace. It's unity within diversity. And this is a very interesting conversation that we had. And it was a conversation and not an argument, not a fight, not a bait. I did say to Dr. Andy in this conversation that there is a virus out there. There's a virus called ego. And the virus called ego leads to a illness called I have to be right itis. here's the thing, you don't have to be right. Okay, you can be grounded in what you believe and not force that upon another person. You can listen to another person with a different viewpoint and not have an argument, because what the globalists want is for to divide and conquer. They have two weapons, and it is called fear, keeping the masses of people, the population, in a state of fear, and also dividing the population so they fight each other and they're not looking up at who's the puppet masters pulling the strings on both sides of the whatever disagreement you have. The puppet master is one, and they're like, oh, look at them fighting. That's what we want. Because it's all about energy. It's all about keeping your vibration high. I know that I am a sovereign divine being of light, and I know that the light has already won this chess match. I don't call it a war because words have vibration. I call it a chess match. It is a spiritual chess match, and the light has already won. So I am on top of the world. And I am so thankful to Dr. Andy Kaufman and Dr. Judy Mikovits for spending 2 hours with me in a conversation. So without further ado, here is the conversation. Please click on the link below so you can see if you're on YouTube, click on the link below so you can see the entire conversation. Thank you. Much love.